Adrian, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you.
You've brought something very cool this time. Now, in the last episode, you brought a fabulous car. For those that missed that episode, what did you bring in?
It was a 964 Carrera RS NGT.
Yeah, that little black beauty was absolutely stunning. Now, for those people that were purists, that car was completely like it came out the factory almost. It was so beautifully cared for, and this car is as well. But this is a little bit of a different take on the Porsche journey. What have we got here and the story behind it?
Well, the beauty of cars like this is that there's nothing really for the purist. It's something that has been created and created exceptionally well. So this car, you could have it, enjoy it, and maybe make changes to it. Whereas the other car, the 964 RS NGT, you wouldn't even want to change a wiper blade on it. Yeah. On this, we could do what we liked with it.
Yeah, and you're not going to affect the value too much with playing around with this car and making it your own. So this started life as a 993 Carrera 2,
Correct.
But it has a story, doesn't it?
Yes, so probably around the 2002, I think it was, it started getting developed. And this is the beauty of Porsche. If you had a Ferrari, you wouldn't want to do this, but on a Porsche, develop it. And the man must have been after speed because he improved the engine, suspension and bits and pieces like that, and then he wanted more.
Okay, so there's a story with a race car and then being mated to this. So yeah, let's dive into the engine side of this car, because that's got a little bit of a story, hey?
Yeah, so the engine's the heart of this car.
Yeah.
It's not just about the engine, of course everything else has to match it, but where's the other, the 964 RS, there's a 993 RS that came afterwards, but this car has a cup engine, so it's a 993 RS race engine. It was found being donated by some poor chap in Japan who ran out of talent in his cup car and destroyed it. And this gent found the engine and the ECU and paid a sufficient amount of money and jammed it in the back of his 993. Hey presto, that's what we got.
Yeah, and driving her, we've taken it on the road in some pretty damp conditions, but just handles beautifully. And the sound that this creates, it's such an emotive drive.
Yes.
I know the cars that we've got coming and the stuff we've already filmed with, and so far this is really ticked every box for me. I hate silver cars, but this one looks so good, and when you drive it, it's just a joy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is a car that I supplied a friend of mine, and he relied on my good judgment. Because, of course, you've got to really understand the car to know what it is. If you just say, oh, I've got a Carrera 2 and it's been modified. But this is something special. So
different gravy.
Different gravy completely. And a unique car. Find another.
Yeah.
Because 993 Cup car was always a valuable car. So very few would get destroyed. You'd have to do a really impressive job to actually destroy one to take the bits out of it.
Yeah. So everything needs to sort of work in harmony with each other. You can't just put a racing lump in and make the thing go and work beautifully. So what other things have been done on this car that make it truly special? Okay,
so the obvious things that you can see are the BBS rims. So they'll be light, and a lightweight rim. You'll know this from your background, but a lightweight wheel will pick up speed faster and it'll turn quicker. So, having a really nice, high quality, strong and lightweight wheel is a big thing. This one's got big brakes. Underneath that is KW suspension and then adjustable anti-roll bars. On top of which you've got all the motorsport bushing, some of it poly bushed, some of it motorsport bushed.
Yeah.
Then in the back, we've got a modified gearbox, a very lightweight flywheel and clutch. So, like the other RS, it's transmitting a lot of noise through the drivetrain.
I'd say it's still easy to drive, though.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're paying attention, you've got a lovely vehicle for the weekends, haven't you? And to do some proper touring with too.
It's fantastic. You definitely don't need a radio in it.
No, the sound, the harmony in it is just phenomenal.
Yeah, and get it up sort of 7,000 RPM, as you know, it is singing.
Yeah. Yeah, and conveniently the steering wheel blocks the speedo, so you can claim negligence. It's a wonderful thing to drive. With the 993, a lot of those different elements come, but this is the last air-cooled platform for people that are coming into Porsche. The next one on from this became 996, didn't it?
Correct. So the 996 was a complete change, but this wasn't just a reskinned 964 because the rear suspension was completely redesigned on them. And this was Porsche's best effort at an air-cooled car. So it has all manner of little detail refinements that made the car even more than a normal 964.
It's a really nice place to be, isn't it? And it does feel like you're getting into a slightly more modern car once you get into it, quite a livable vehicle. I love the fact it's still got the pole positions. They're really comfortable. This one, I do have a gripe with the owner. The seat belts are in the place. They actually physically bruised me when I was driving the car. So,
we charge extra for that.
We charge extra.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely place to be. I would say, though, for me, I prefer the left-hand drive. I've only experienced left-hand drive ones, and as developing our friendship and spending a bit more time with these, you do notice that as a right-hand drive car, things are all a little bit more off-centre, are they?
Indeed. So a left-hand drive has has a bigger pedal box, actually bigger pedals.
Yeah.
And of course your dominant foot is your right foot. Now that's your go pedal, maybe a slow pedal. And in a left-hand drive, you sit more straight. So I personally always take left-hand drive air-cooled cars out of preference. However, there's disadvantage with them here in the UK. But hey.
But people shouldn't feel intimidated by that because, the little blue SC, the car that you built and raced and that I'm taking on for the season, you can drive that on the road quite comfortably. And so somebody that's maybe looking at a car to buy from you or be researching, they shouldn't be put off with a left-hand drive car.
Not at all. I mean, that was my business. That's what really grew the business. I was bringing in left-hand drives because people couldn't get a good right hand. I'd be supplying good left hands and then convincing them it was an easy place to be. And of course it is, because when you're on in the passenger side and your partner is sat there doing her thing or his thing, and you think, whoa, that's close, you're still judging the width of the car. So all your judgments in place, you know the proximity of everything around the car. All you've got to do is remember to change gear with your right hand, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So this being a Carrera 2, she's a narrower body. Is there any geometry stuff and work that's been done to be able to really dial in this car? Because I guess it came with race bushings and things like that. And so what work's been done to sort of make it livable rather than just an almighty track car?
Well, when it's the specification of it is 993 RS bottom arms, for example, so you can get more camber on the wheels. You've got the adjustable KWs, which are actually on quite a stiff spring and quite a competition-orientated setup. And then you've got either solid bushings or maybe a motorsport bushing in the car. So it was quite harsh. And my friend came back to me and wanted it to be a little bit more comfortable on the road, so we made some basic suspension changes and made it just that little bit more livable.
I guess this is the setup prior was probably putting a lot of vibration and noise into the cab.
Yeah. So one of the things that we changed was in the back. It was
Should we open up the boot? Yeah.
In the back, the engine was solid mounted.
Okay.
So you can imagine the vibration and noise that transmitted through the cabin. So we've changed that back to an RS mount. And and what you're looking at here is the heart of the car.
Yeah. And where would this sit then? If somebody was looking at an RS or RSR or these competition cars and stuff, where would you rate this in terms of the sort of tree of 993-esque, if it was something to sort of relate it to?
Okay, so if you had a regular 993 RS, this car is probably a quicker, sharper version of a 993 RS. You know, that's what's impressive about it. And you're also going to go faster because you've saved something between £200,000 and £300,000.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And also you can just then live with it and enjoy it more, can't you? It's no longer just a museum piece or a real investment. You're able to really put some miles on it.
Yeah, exactly. Some of these cars are really, really precious, and you know, as I said before, you just don't want to change anything. And something like this, if you want to change the wheels, or you can change anything that you like and enjoy it. Hopefully, you don't make it worse.
And how reliable is this engine to put a competition motor into a road car and use it as your weekender or for a road trip, for example?
Race car people recognise this engine as being the sweetheart of all engines built by Porsche for motorsport. They were deliberately low horsepower, so there's 315 horsepower out of the crate, if you like. But they were built for reliability, for durability, to last through an endurance race or last a whole season of racing. So as long as you didn't destroy one by doing a massive over rev or a terrible gear shift, you were good to go. You know, put oil in it, wipe the windscreen, crack on.
Yeah, so you're not having to do constant rebuilds and things like that. And have you seen, as Williams Crawford, have you seen vehicles like this with this sort of home build type? Well, not home build, that would be doing it a disservice, but you know, that sort of hybrid nature of coming in with something quite cool. You see those things enter your door now and again?
I love that. Yeah. You know, but you've got to really take each one individually, because some just do not they don't gel, you know, they haven't got the right bits together. And you know, I've had a 996 with a cup engine as well in it, and it must have been quite a big deal for someone to do that. You know, it wouldn't have been a small purchase. Goodness knows what it cost at the time, but at the time this engine went into this car might have only been 25, 30 grand's worth. Yeah. So to put a cup engine in it would have been a significant investment. Yeah. And you sort of find that there's a theme that'll run through these cars of either people counting pennies, or they're just doing it for emotion and hopefully the right thing. And this one is a really cohesive package, as you've already discovered since you took it out on the road.
I find it quite supple. I mean, we're only not going very fast at all, but it's very livable.
Yeah,
I was expecting it to be quite a harsh sort of environment, but it's not at all.
Well, I supplied this car to a friend of mine a couple of years ago, and he's brought it back because he wanted it made more compliant for the road.
Yeah.
And I adjusted the suspension on it because it's got like really good multi-adjustable suspension. And actually stiffened it up a little bit, and it's made it a hell of a lot better.
Oh, that top end is lovely, isn't it?
And the sound.
Yeah, that just sings, doesn't it?
And it just feels like it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah,
and of course it will until you do.
Yeah. I mean, that did not feel like we were doing 110 at all.
Well, we weren't.
No. We can do a beep on there. And where would this normally red light? About 6.5?
Yeah. And now I expect that this is safe to 8. But we won't use it that hard. No. And so there's little details in here that did not conform to RS. This isn't a car that's pretending to be an RS. It looks like one, it goes better than one, it stops and steers probably better than a standard RS, but it's not an exact copy.
You can just, it's quite a visceral car. You feel all the air being sucked through the motor, and
yeah,
it's quite engaging, isn't it?
But you know, if you put the two side by side, which one would you have? It's hard to know. You know, the 964 is absolute purist, but this is really, really good to live with.
Yeah, I think I'd have this. I think it's, I don't know. What would you go for?
But there's always the financial part of it as well.
Yeah.
But cars like this, you know, one of the hidden benefits of them is that if you decided that you didn't want a sunroof in it, you wouldn't hurt the value. If you wanted different wheels on it or change, you know, you can do anything you like with this.
It's quite pliable to,
it doesn't have any historical value, if you like, so you're free to do what you like, use it whichever way you like, and really enjoy it. And I like that freedom.
It's quite a connected drive, isn't it? And these seats hold you nicely. And
seats are great. Yeah. And so these would have been a little bit wider than 964. They were a narrow Recaro pole position, and these are a bit more accommodating for some gentlemen. This car did have solid engine mounts, and one of the refinement things that we did for this owner to try to make it a bit better was to put a normal RS mount back in it, because the amount of noise and vibration that were transmitted with those solid mounts, for the benefit, you know, the man's using it on the road and wants to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that would be a really minor tweak, but
also a compromise for the road that makes it a much more of a livable car, I guess.
Yeah, and people get these things. You know, they don't have the experience that we do of saying, no, don't put solid engine mounts in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's just phenomenal.
I want to encourage you, but I also want to encourage you to slow down. Because, so if you can do both, enjoy it, but slowly.
It just goes so nicely, doesn't it?
All the way up to that 40 mile an hour. It's fantastic.
It's like a really, good friend that's a bad influence on a night out, isn't it? Go on, just a little bit more.
Well, the thing is with this, you know, these were good for sort of 170 mile an hour standard, and I'm told on good authority that cars like this, they just beg you to go and go and go and go, you know, and you cannot stop it.
I found myself, after driving it, just spending my time going through every single advert under the sun for 993s.
Before we shut the lid, there's one more thing that I should point out, is that most people would think that the 993 would be best with a Vari-Ram engine because it gave a little bit more horsepower. But for motorsport, they didn't use the Vari-Ram. They used a normal intake system because it responded quicker. The Vari-Ram relies on engine vacuum to alter the length of the inlet manifolds. And of course, it doesn't give you that instant response that you need in motorsport but would never notice on the road. All these little things like the lightweight flywheel, the lightweight wheels, the improved mounts, the intake system, the cup engine, all these things, they're fine details, but they add up to make quite a different experience that you've already enjoyed.
Oh, totally. I asked Holly last night if I could buy it. I absolutely adored it. Driving it, you can hear it sucking in the air. It just is so emotive. The NGT is a very, very special car to drive too. But there's, for me personally, and it's all subjective to each person, but I just felt there's a real sense of occasion with this car.
Yeah, there is. I'm sure it's a bloke thing.
So what other little pieces of this car do you sort of want to point out?
So for me, when I'm looking at these cars, it's always little details that make me think someone's paid attention here.
Okay.
So on this one, it's got an RS rear screen. Unlike the 964, they actually had a clear screen with no heating element at all for the RS. So someone's gone to the expense of changing that.
I found that the quirk on the NGT, for those that haven't watched that episode yet, that had a heated windscreen, but without any wiring to save weight.
That's exactly
Why wouldn't they have just gone with a non-heated, even lighter screen?
Because you've got to remember,
what was on the parts shelf at the time.
No, that's right. You've got to remember that Porsche, probably just a band of enthusiast blokes with a massive shelf of bits, and no, there wasn't a clear rear screen for them.
Yeah.
So, and of course,
they made do with what they had.
Yeah, and of course, an RS rear screen. There were so few RSs built. There's something like 50 right-hand drives, and that was your lot.
Yeah.
So it's a really small market. So, again, someone that goes out, spends money on that, I'm looking elsewhere and I think, yeah, it's got the right wheels, it's got the right suspension, it's got the right motor, it's had the modified gearbox. All these things add up.
Adrian, talk to me a little bit more about the interior, because it's quite special. You were talking earlier about refinements. I noticed that there are a couple of things here. The door shuts, everything is just elevated again from 964, a little bit more modern. Yeah, can you go through a little bit more of the sort of enhancements that have been made on this car? Okay,
so regular 993 things, a bonded screen, stiffens the shell, of course, flush rear windows, little things like that are just normal 993 improvements, and the twin wipers, almost two covering the driver's side, mounted in the centre, very much a motorsport derived change. But this car, as we've seen already, it's got the half cage, there's no soundproofing in it at all.
No, but it's awesome.
It's just got it's just got the lightweight carpet, top marks to the guy that did the build. 8,000 RPM cup rev counter. Little details like that. I think, fair play. You've done
I was
the right
still
thing.
short shifting at 6,000 just to look after it yesterday, but there's still a lot more to play with if you with the owner and it's your car baby to.
Well, they were rev limited at 6,900 RPM, but they were said to be safe for a mistake up to 8,000.
Yeah. Exactly. And then the Recaros really look after you. They hug you nicely, apart from bruising you with the buckle. But other than that, the driving position is lovely. I love the Porsche deep dish steering wheel, but why is that such an important factor? Because you see some that are the flat ones. Yeah. You don't like those, do you?
No, I don't. I generally wouldn't put a flat wheel on because there's no strength in them and you sort of feel the things flexing when you're getting excited with it. Whereas the ones with a decent wheel like a Momo or a Nardi with a deeper dish, it's a stronger wheel. Yeah. So it's a little thing that when you're buying them off eBay, loads of Chinese copies, getting an original wheel with a dish, definitely going to make a difference to you.
Moving forward, Adrian, we've got, obviously, you touched on it earlier, lightweight, beautiful alloys, BBS, KW suspension, so geometry and working through that?
Yeah, so KW suspension, this car, just in general, will have more negative on it. It'll have a more aggressive setup. We've dialed it back a little bit for the road, so to make it less sort of wandery. Of course, this has got power steering, whereas the 964 you drove, no power steering. But actually, with the Momo wheel,
you've still got a lot of feel.
Yeah, you're taking weight out of the steering wheel because there's no airbag. Yeah, obviously, don't recommend that, and you'll get a lot of the feel back.
Don't recommend it, but it is a joy to drive.
It's an absolute joy to drive.
Yeah, and obviously, the 993 is growing in popularity. I think you've said before that the other earlier models get a lot of the love and attention.
Yeah, people traditionally are looking for the upright headlamp cars of the 964s, G-Series, and those have been doing really, really well of late. But the focus of attention is coming on to 993, and we're seeing the rise in value of all 993s. And it's almost like they're getting drawn along by those earlier cars. But as they get drawn along, obviously, it's a more sophisticated car. It has better rear suspension.
It's more livable, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well? Yeah.
So, they've got a degree of, on the rear toe. So the more you lean on them, the more rear toe you've got to increase stability.
Yeah.
That was one of the key things that came out on these cars that make it so different to a 964. And you'll feel it on the road, and you definitely feel it on the track.
So would you say this is then the epitome of the sort of sweet spot before going into water-cooled with 996?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
These are a really, really good car. And if you came to me and said, I've bought a 993,
which
a
will happen in
standard
about
one,
4 hours' time.
yeah, you've bought a standard 993, can I make it a bit more like this? Then yeah, it's just do this, do that, do the other, and you could build it up. And I think there's a real pleasure in doing that, for a car enthusiast.
Yeah, exactly. And with this car, you have a monster engine in the back, but it's still pretty livable, isn't it? You've got all the practicalities of a normal Carrera.
Absolutely. You've even got carpet in there. You've got a massive fuel tank, which is great. Still got a spare wheel in there, which I think is fantastic for if you're going touring. And you can jam a few bits and pieces in there to keep everyone happy.
Perfect. Anything else that you want to highlight on such a car?
Well, I've done loads and loads of driving with these. So, I've got stories about how well they go and how well they operate. This would have standard been a 174 mile an hour car, and I think people overlook the fact that these cars were so darn quick. And of course, I've always had people come along and say, well, what's the point of that? We've got a limit of 70 mile an hour in the UK, and no one will ever do 170. But you get 174 mile an hour brakes, 174 mile an hour steering, 174 mile an hour aerodynamics. So the darn things work really well. And just an additional point on this car that I forgot to mention earlier, but it's obvious to all the viewers, the RS body kit.
Yeah, I was going to say the aero, obviously, in its production timeline, things would have advanced with some CAD design and aerodynamic design, so it just looks that more modern again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you can sense that. With these particular cars, the sense I got from it, you're talking about speed, is it just wafts down the road still. It's such an animal, but at the same time quite a sedate beast that you can drive, and then you look down and you're like, oh, crap, we need to rein it in a little bit. It eggs you on quite a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, you could lend it to anyone and they wouldn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
You can use it for anything. You should be able to go to it, turn the key and it will operate. But if you get it in the right environment, and do 200 or 300 miles with it, then it really starts coming alive. If you had the opportunity to drive straight to Italy through the Alps, oh my God.
Yeah,
that's where this car is. You tick this box over and above, for me, a lot of the moderns.
Yeah, you have a lot more driver feel. I'm lucky to drive some very, very fancy, very, very modern Porsche, but there isn't the same communication through the wheel and the pedals and that visceral experience that you get with something like this.
And there's this. I see that you've got a sim rig here. The one thing the sim rig can't do that real life does is actually tell you you're going to die or it's going to hurt you if you get it wrong.
You have to respect the machine, don't you?
You've got to respect it. It's not going to have stability management or anything. It's not going to send warning lights on the dash to say, calm down, you idiot.
Yeah.
It's all going to be down to you.
If you get around the corner safely, it's with you and the car rather than just the car.
So for me, with these cars, I always feel that they reward your ability, whatever level that is. If you engage with the car and you drive it nicely, you'll feel a much greater reward than you would if you were in a more modern car. And I like that, If you drive it badly, it's going to kick you up the backside more firmly than a modern car will.
Yeah.
And that's the joy. That's why people are into this stuff.
But it is a car that nurtures you as well, so people shouldn't be too intimidated. They just need seat time, don't they? And to just learn the car and get more and more familiar with it.
Take it gently and enjoy it all the way. It doesn't matter whether you're doing 30 mile an hour or 300. You can really enjoy your drive. That's what I think. You know, we've been through the traffic with it, and it's just perfect. It's great.
So your mechanics at Williams Crawford, they look after the car for your friend.
Yes.
And keep it in top form. You have a couple of other 993s that I've seen that are owned by various different eccentric individuals. They're all quite special in their own way.
Yes.
So is this a particularly high maintenance car to look after, or it's pretty easy to go?
It's really easy because most people will be doing 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 miles a year with it. The engine, knock on wood, is going to last forever.
Yeah.
So regular maintenance with that, you know, just normal fluids and filters and things like that. Brakes and tyres, you're going to wear out depending on you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're good to go.
Well, let's go and put a few more miles on it.
Excellent.
Thank you, Adrian.
Done.